Well, it's a pleasure to chat with you this afternoon.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, on Thoroughfare. This is a week-long program, and it features a wide array of different artists performing eclectic music. What's your wheelhouse? What's your genre? What do you like to play?
Oh, dude, so many. But in this context, I'm a Métis fiddle player first and foremost, and so what I'll be doing is it's going to be mostly traditional Métis fiddle music that I like, that I bring to events like this, and I bring my own experience with my family and their sort of history with the residential school system. And my grandmother specifically was a part of it, and she drove me to play Métis fiddle music.
So what did she tell you? What stories did she impart?
So many, so many, and it would take far too long to get into all of them. But she made sure that I was well aware of the history, and she made sure I knew how important it was that my culture and expressing it through Métis fiddle music was.
And so when did you start to pick up the fiddle?
I was 9. I was in elementary school. Yeah, I was 9 years old.
Okay, and was it a love immediately? A love at first sight?
Immediately, yeah. It was my idea for sure. I went to an elementary school here in Edmonton called Prince Charles Elementary School, and they have a program still today. And they got me started. I saw kids playing, and once I was old enough, it was my call. And as soon as my grandma saw me show that interest, let's go.
You're gone.
She was all like, we're doing it, boy.
So she didn't have to dangle the M&Ms in front of you or
maybe
the treat?
Maybe from time to time. But
to practice?
Exactly. But for the most part, I was good to go.
Okay. This is really fascinating to me anyway, because you talk about your grandmother's influence. And of course, we are commemorating the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. Yeah. And these series of events are themed on a daily basis. Everything from Going Home to the Storytellers to the Alchemists, which is a great title, to Women's Voices Rising, which is terrific. Exactly. What have you experienced so far that really moved you?
We're only one day in right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so tonight we're going to be going for day 2 of 6. And most of it is just really an openness to, as far as the viewership that's coming, it was everybody just willing to listen to the stories and wanting to hear the stories, and an openness to understand the history a little more.
Because that's a great part of it, isn't it? You can lay down some grooves, that's cool.
Exactly.
And you can tell stories within the context of the song, but that precipitates questions, right, from the audience.
For sure.
And is that a great part of this whole thing, is to engage the audience?
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
That's exactly why we're there, right? We're there, like, if there's anything that we could stress at these for the rest of the week, is that to ask as many questions as you can, because we're here to answer those. We're here to tell you about the history. We're here to tell you about what happened before, what happened during, and what happened after. And we're so lucky that we can have a platform to do this.
And what do you think is going to happen after? That's an interesting thought. Just the way,
after
looking
this kind of an event, I think it's just going to get bigger.
Yeah,
right? We're here doing it at a larger capacity than we did it last year. We did a smaller event last year that I was very lucky to be a part of, and now we're doing it on a larger scale for more days. We get to do a similar thing that we did last year, but for a little while longer. And next year, I'm assuming that I know that we're looking to just make it even bigger. We're looking for a festival. We're looking for bigger names, more musicians that can bring their voice to the history.
Let's talk about Indigenous voices, because it's a fascinating alchemy. To use a coin of phrase, you think of DJ Shub, for example. You think of your music, Monks on Call, for example, which is radically different than the other stuff that you
Wildly
do.
different.
Digging Roots.
Thank you for bringing up Monks on Call.
Digging Roots, Kaylee Cardinal, all Indigenous artists, but their music is so different. Do you think that there is a kernel there, like a seed, a through line that ties these artists together?
I'm sure, of course. It's all about expressing your experience through music, through any form of art, right? For me, it's music, but we're going to have a lot of other things going on at the show. There's going to be art installations, there's going to be storytellers, there's going to be poets, and it's all about expressing your experience through your art form. And that we just want to show you guys how we learned to do that, right? And how we came to express, how we came to want to, and why it's so important to us.
And what do you think will come out of this?
The conversation's been going on for a long time. That's the honest truth is that it's been going on for a long time, and at the very least we can just hope that more people find an understanding for why we feel it's so important that this is a conversation that's handled appropriately, and also it's heard from the impact that it's had on future generations, right? Most of the people that are going to be here at this event did not experience the residential school system. These are generations after. it's still important to us because this happened. It did happen, and that's why we're doing it, is because this is a story that needs to be told, and it'll be told over and over again, and we're happy to be the ones that are telling it.
When I interviewed actor Gerald Auger, he was talking about the idea of having a moccasin on one foot and a Nike on the other, and having parallel worlds walking together to create a harmonious existence, so an existence where there's mutual respect for each other's cultures. Do you see that coming out of stuff like this? Do
Every
you have
day, especially we're doing it in the middle of downtown Edmonton, right?
Yeah.
You see all the kinds of this stuff happen. It's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, me, I'm in that very boat. I'm not sure I've ever worn a moccasin in my life, but I know that I've watched my grandmother make them.
Right.
I know that I've seen that as a part of my culture for my entire life, and it's just the generation I was raised in. Last year we were doing this very show, and there was a gentleman that walked right off the side of the road, and he had a harmonica, I think, and he played with us last year. And it's all about, like, who knows, you know, that it's just sort of, you know, it's 100%. It's a new culture, but it's very much so has a history. You know, like there's not a new culture, but it's a new generation expressing this culture.
No, I like that. Yeah, and so this is open to anybody. Anybody.
Absolutely, anybody. It's absolutely
Great.
free. You walk in, you have and enjoy the stories and enjoy the music. Yeah.
Well, and we will. So, just you know, in your perfect world, who you jamming with?
In my perfect world, who am I
Colten
jamming
Bear.
with?
Who you jamming with?
Oh, golly.
Lady Gaga, or
Sure,
is it
I'll jam
Taylor
with Lady Gaga
Swift?
if she's around, yeah.
Who's your ultimate jam? If you could.
Who's my ultimate jam session? There's so many different genres that I love, and so many different heroes that I have. So I could say anybody. You know, if I'm playing the fiddle, I want to sit down with Calvin Vollrath. I want to sit down with Mark Sullivan. I would love to sit down with Andy Desjarlais, who's since passed. You know, he's been away for some time, but he was just one of the best that absolutely ever did it. And you know, I'm also a blues guitar player. I'd love to sit down with Clapton. I'd love to sit down with John Mayer. You know, but you know, this isn't a perfect world. But of course, no, I love to jam with the best. That's what I'd like to do.
Well, sir, it's been a pleasure to sit down and jam with you
It's absolutely
chat
you
over
as well.
these words, and good luck with the rest of the shows. And go out and see them, people. Go out and check them out. They're good for your soul.
Exactly.
Yeah, Colten Bear, thanks a lot this afternoon for joining us.